J.
Alright, welcome to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real, and we're happy to have you here for this Friday edition of the show. Now, we're going to jump into the NBA. The game just happened last night, and the Heat just put it on the Spurs again. Now, what does this mean? Seems like we're in a trend here. Spurs win, Miami comes back, wins big. Spurs come back, win way big, and now the Heat come back and win. We're right now tied at the series of 2-2 with one more game still in San Antonio. No, San Antonio needs to win this game because they do not want to go back to Miami under or one game behind. If this trend can keep pace and stay the way it's going, the way it looks, folks, is Game 7 will be in Miami, and it'll be a tie game with the Heat winning the previous game, which means San Antonio will come back and win Game 7. We might get lucky to see that happen, but the way the Big Three played last night, it's kind of hard to see because this is the way the team was built to win. If you notice, Dwayne Wade played like he was still the best player in the NBA. Chris Bosh played like he was the third best player in the NBA. And then, of course, LeBron James, as we all know about him, he played his game. With these three playing on all cylinders, playing the way they're supposed to play, the way the team was made and was built, this team cannot be beat. That's what's the scary thing right now. The Spurs really have to shake things up again in Game 5, which will be on Sunday, and see if they could turn this thing around. If they could go back to Miami one game up, that means only out of the next two games they only got to win one. So it's a good chance for them if they can win Game 5. We'll just have to see how that works out. Now, the U.S. Open began yesterday, and it was really funny because Sergio Garcia ended up falling all the way to last place. Now, of course, there was a lot of other players that didn't get a chance to even get on the course yet because of weather delays, but he finally got out. He finally started working his way up the board, but it was funny. For a small period of time, Sergio Garcia was sitting dead last when it came to the rankings for yesterday's scores. Pretty funny. Now, the purse for that tournament is right around $8 million, and you're going to imagine a lot of guys are going to be just really shooting for that win, and there are a lot of guys that need the win. Tiger Woods, of course, would love to get the win, but he's had some recent success, so we'll see. Maybe there'll be somebody coming up the ranks, and we'll take that first place trophy home with some big money. Now, moving on to the NFL, the Broncos released their star running back, Willis McGahee. That's kind of interesting because the guy still looked like he had a lot left in the tank, and I'm sure he's going to get picked up by somebody right away. I'm sure by next weekend he'll have a job with another team. But that was an interesting move on their part. But, man, the Broncos are going to be stacked, and they're going to be tough to beat this year. Peyton Manning, again, with another year of solidifying his quarterback presence, knowing his receivers, getting a full training camp in with them. He will be the general on that team. He will be basically the coach on that team behind center. So Broncos going to be very tough. Now, in lighter news, Tim Tebow, if you are a fan of Tim Tebow and you are trying to get some of the gear, you want that blue, white, and red Patriots jersey with Tim Tebow's name on the back, good luck because nobody has them. Nobody is making them yet. It's going to be a while before anyone gets their hands on Tim Tebow gear. And you know what? For all of us fanatics that love the gear, that's all right. I'm sure no one's going to have a problem waiting for Tim Tebow gear to show up on the shelves and get bought up by the masses of fans that are supporting Tim Tebow. So, anyway, just lighter news. And then also Bill Belichick came out on an interview and just basically said, hey, give me a break. How can I give this guy a grading report or give him a check-over or once-over or whatever you want to call it as a grade by the great Bill Belichick after just a practice or two? Give the guy a little bit of time. Let the guy develop in the system that they have, and then maybe down the road he can give him his critique or his constructive criticism of Tim Tebow, the football player. So I thought that was interesting, and I like the way Bill Belichick is handling this, because he's not letting the press dictate how he's going to handle Tim Tebow, and he doesn't allow the press to dictate how Tim Tebow's going to deal with the press. Good for you, Bill Belichick. I'm not a big fan of the guy or the team, but I'm really respectful of them for giving Tim Tebow the opportunity to play for the NFL and their team. Anyway, we're going to wrap up NFL. I'm not going to cut away. We're just going to go ahead and go right on and wrap up with the NFL. The commissioner, Goodell, sat down with reporters to discuss this whole Redskins change your name fiasco that's going on. And I have to say big ups to Roger Goodell for standing up for a team that says, hey, this has been our name for decades. This is going to be our name for decades to come. It is not disrespectful. It is not degrading. And it is a part of the culture there in Washington, as well the NFL. So, what does Goodell say? He comes out and he says that the name stands for strength, courage, pride, and respect. It is not meant to be any other way. It has never been any other way for the last 50, 60 years. So please, get off the whole, let's change this name because it offends maybe 2 people on the planet. Give me a freaking break. Leave the guys alone. Leave the name alone. And everything's going to be just fine. Big ups again to Goodell for standing up for an owner and the right to have their name stay the same. So anyway, that is the NFL wrap up there. And then we're just going to go ahead and wrap up the show for Friday. We have a lot going on next week. We are going to miss our big-time production guy and Big Sarge and his family. We're just going to wish them well, wish them good luck in their adventures and in their travels to wherever they may end up going. And we just want to say, God bless and much love to you guys. NBA. Going back to the Heat, these guys are really heating it up. Last game was really scary, but we think, just as it's been over the last few games, that the Spurs will come back on Sunday's game and pick up that win. We need them to pick up that win. Then also in the NBA, getting off that, it's going to be a hard game for the Spurs to win. We already know the Heat are built to win championships. That's just the way it is. They're supposed to win, as I always say. So we're going to let that go. And then let's move on to Jason Kidd. Retires 2 weeks ago. Now he's the head coach for the Brooklyn Nets. We cannot diss anybody for taking an opportunity given to them. That is just the way the world goes. But is Kidd ready to be a head coach in the NBA? The guy was a player 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month ago. The guy was a player. And now all of a sudden, he's going to be an NBA head coach. It's kind of hard to see, but hey, if somebody is going to give him the opportunity and he has the opportunity, then go for it. All we're going to do is say good luck, because we're big fans of Jason Kidd, have always been fans of him since his rookie year back in the early 90s, and hopefully he can be a coach. So we're really happy for them. And then we're also happy for Patrick Ewing, who just joined the Bobcats as one of their head coaches, associate head coaches, as they put it. And he's going to be working right there with Michael Jordan and the Bobcats, trying to make that team relevant in the NBA because, gosh, that team needs some help. Jordan may be a master on the court. He may be an assassin on the court. Best player ever, bar none, to play in the NBA. Probably will be the best player ever to play in the NBA. But, man, this guy has a tough time building a team. So, hopefully with Patrick Ewing coming on board, they can make some adjustments, make some drafts, make some trades, whatever they need to do to make the Bobcats relevant this year, because they need to do something. Anyway, folks, we appreciate Player Zone for hooking us up with the house and giving us the opportunity to come bring you our ideas, our cuts on sports. We cannot thank the Player Zone and Right on Time Errand and Delivery Service enough for supporting us and being our sponsors. And we cannot thank you, the folks that watch us and broke us over that 1,000 views. Now we're going to be pushing for 2,000, and with your help, I know we can do it. We have some really cool shows coming up. Excuse me. And as we previewed in one of our previous shows, we have a local rapper, and I don't care if I have to go to the guy's house. I don't care if I have to go drag him out of bed. We're going to have El Mero Mero do us a little preview of his CD and have him here on the show to pump him up for our locals and give him some local support, because we're really proud of him, and we just can't say enough about the guy. He's worked very hard over the last few years to get a deal, and it's finally happened for him. So, with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap up the show. We want to be sure you all leave your feedback and comments right there. If you want to go to the Player Zone on Facebook or the Average Joe Sports Talk Show Facebook, you're more than welcome to do that. Leave us your comments and your posts. We will do the show that you request, bar none. If you are in the Ruidoso area and would like to come on and be my co-host right here and give us your cuts on sports or give us a good idea, hey, everything is good with us. We just want to say peace and much love. J Real signing out. We'll see you next week.
J